In this video, I'll be covering the inventory portion of Boulevard as it pertains to tax purposes. And the inventory section is the most important area that you need to close out at the end of a tax year before entering new tax year information as far as customer sales and products purchased and those types of inventory things. All the other tax reports can be printed at any time, but the inventory takes a current snapshot of what is recorded in your inventory the time that you print that report. So we're going to start with checking to make sure that the product list is completely up to date. And you can do that by going to the File menu, choose Product Update, and then History, and click the Copy button, and then OK. Now what you can do is open up an email and send us an email and paste it using your keyboard, Control-V, paste it into an email and just ask us to take a look, and we can ensure that your product listing is completely up to date. Once you have verified that you haven't missed any product updates and you have a full complete product listing, you want to open your product list. Now I've set up my shortcuts, so I'm accessing it from the shortcuts, but you can also access it from the main toolbar or the product menu. Now there are several different ways to handle your year-end inventory depending on the amount of inventory you carry, the accuracy of your inventory as it already stands in Boulevard, and also your time. If you have a very large inventory, we recommend breaking it up so that you are not counting for hours on end, and also enlisting the help of someone to assist you with counting your inventory if you need that. So what you can do is we're going to go ahead and choose just the section 1. And I'm going to go ahead and choose, you can either choose the inventory or the worksheet. Now the difference between those two is the inventory is just going to show what Boulevard says you have on hand. The worksheet will show all products listed in Boulevard. So I'm going to go ahead and choose inventory. And what it's going to do is still go in category format, and it'll give me a quick glimpse of what my cost of goods on hand is. And if I want to break this down even further and only tackle my current inventory and not closeout items, I can uncheck that, and that's going to significantly drop that number. So I can go ahead and print this and then go ahead and check my inventory, make sure that all of my on-hand amounts are accurate as far as what I do have in my inventory versus what Boulevard says. And when I want to go back in and only print the closeout items, what I can do is change the category, make sure that I click the closeout items, and change my category to closeout items. Now in other countries it may be called phase out items, but it's all the products that are no longer on the current inventory. And then I can print just this section. So I can break it up so it's more manageable and if I have a very large inventory or if I want to just tackle certain sections. Another tip is if you want to just count certain types of products. For example, if you want to only count right now what you have in your cleanser group, then you can choose the group listing cleanser and it will pull up any product in Boulevard that is coded as part of the cleanser group. Now keep in mind, if you are going to use this method, you'll want to make sure that if you purchase any products as a set, for example, with the Miracle set, if you ordered them by set but selling them as the individual components, before counting the individual components, you'll want to go ahead and break up the set. So we'll go ahead and choose this Miracle set and click the Split Set button. Now it will bring up the components that make up this set, and these are the individual wholesale price if you were to purchase the cleanser, moisturizer, etc. separately. Now since you get special pricing when you order as a set, you'll want to ensure that you adjust this wholesale. And if you need assistance with finding out what the wholesale price should be for the set that you're looking for to split, for your country, just reach out to us and we're more than happy to assist you on that. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and when I do that, it's going to remove the on-hand amount down one, and what it's going to do is then put all of the components that make up that set, increase it by one. So let's go ahead and go back to the cleanser group, and now it's increased the cleanser. So you can go ahead and print each of these groups that you're working on once you've split out your sets, to make it a more manageable task. And once you have counted your inventory and you have it recorded as far as what you should have, if you need to make minor adjustments, you can certainly edit the physical count to go ahead and adjust. We'll go ahead and adjust the Voluform Foaming Cleanser by clicking the Edit Physical Count button. So I double click to open the profile, and then I clicked the Physical Count button, which is the little pencil, and you can then go ahead and either increase or decrease depending on what you need to do. So if I needed to decrease it, I would go ahead and just go ahead and decrease it. If I needed to increase it, I can go ahead and either put in a higher amount, or you can also do a separate line entry if you need to do a separate line entry. If you'd rather to have the current date, you can do that as well. And then click OK. Now you can go through and do that for any of the items that you need to adjust. And if you've decided that you need to change a lot of products, or maybe this is the first time that you're starting the new year and you want to track your inventory and you haven't in the past, and you want to clear out any of the on-hands that you have, amounts that you have in Boulevard, and enter your current inventory, what you can do is clear your on-hand amounts first. And the way that you do that is by hitting from the keyboard Control, Alt, and the letter J. And what that's going to do is bring up a clear inventory form. And just leave it at the radio box set to all, and then click OK. And Boulevard's going to want to confirm with you that you do want to remove all your on-hand amounts. And once you click OK, all of the on-hand amounts will then be cleared. So if I go back to my default view, you'll notice that the ideal levels are still there, but my on-hand amounts are now clear. So now I'm ready to enter my current inventory. And the way I do that is by creating what we call a mock order. And I can access this from the product menu and choose inventory order, or if you have your shortcut set up, you can click on inventory orders. Now, one of the new things to Boulevard 2018 is the fact that any open order is bolded and there's a green flag, so you know right away that this is still an open order. Now I've already cleared my on hand amount, so I don't want to place and receive this into my inventory because I'm going to start fresh and enter my whole entire inventory. But I do need to keep this because this was a real order that I placed with the company. So what I can do is I can right click on it and choose close. So it's going to ask me, are you closing the order? It's not going to add any quantities to my inventory, and do I want to continue? So I would go ahead and click yes. And now the dollar values are still listed for tax purposes, but I haven't added any quantities into my inventory. So now what I can do is create a new blank order, and we're just going to go ahead and call it mock. And for this purpose, it's just to get your on-hand amounts in that you counted. And I clicked the Fill by List button, and doing that, it brings up a fill order screen, and this has all the products listed in the order form sequence, and I can just go down the line and add however many I have of each item. And if you have a large inventory and want to step away from this, if you don't think you're going to complete it in one sitting, we recommend that you click OK. And what it'll do is it'll transfer it to the main form, and then click Save so that you have the order saved. And when you're ready to go back to it, you can double click to open that mock order and continue where you left off. And once you've completed the mock order and you have all of the on-hand amounts for your current inventory entered, what you would do is select it, then click the Place button and confirm that you want to proceed, then select it again and choose Receive, then Receive All, and click OK. Now the last step with the mock order is to delete it because it wasn't a real order placed with a company. It's just a way to get your on-hand amounts. You don't want the dollar value added to your product purchase report because all of the individual orders in the past are already accounted for. So what you would want to do is delete it, and you can right click and choose delete, and then you want to confirm yes, and that will go ahead and delete the mock order. Now obviously that mock order was very small and wasn't a full inventory, but you get the idea that once you have all of your quantities in there and you've saved it, you can place it and receive it. That's going to update your on-hand amounts to what you currently have, and then you're ready to go. Now once you've done that and your inventory is completely accurate, you're ready to print your year-end inventory listing by category report. I can go ahead and access it from the Business Tools menu and choose Reports, or I can go to the Shortcuts menu, and if you have it set up, you can access it here. Looks like I haven't added it, so I'm going to go ahead and add it real quick to my shortcuts. I can drag it and drop it just like that, and then access Reports. Now with 2018, this is another enhancement that we've done, is we've split out the expense and tax sections. They used to be combined into one, and made its own tax category to easily find the reports that you need to print for tax purposes. So we're going to go ahead and double click to pull up that inventory listing by category report. and you can choose to print it. And what I also recommend is click the Export Document button. And by default, the format will be PDF. And you can go ahead and OK it and then save it and just put the year and save it wherever you would like. And then what we also recommend is take another backup and keep this backup as your year-end inventory is totally accurate backup. So if you ever need to refer back to it, you have a snapshot of what your boulevard looked like as of the very last day of the tax year. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK because I don't need to open the PDF. And then I can close it. Now I've not only exported my inventory report as a PDF, I've also printed a hard copy of it, and I've taken a backup of my boulevard and just type in year end or something to where you know this is your year end backup. And then save. And that's it for inventory. All of the other reports that is necessary for tax purposes can be printed out at any time that you would like. And the next video will be covering those different reports.